Coast Conference Championship. This is Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. We have a good one on Monday night. Basically the featured game, this one tipping off at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. Of course, I'm talking about the St. Mary's Gales versus the top-ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs. Bulldogs opened up as 5-point neutral site favorites. That number has risen as high as 6 in the betting market, while the total stands at 138. Monitor any future action in the odds by going to SBRodds.com. Before handicapping this game, you got to realize that these teams will be facing off in the title game for the 5th consecutive year. Of course, St. Mary's comes in 19-2 their last 21 games, but both of those losses have come against tonight's opponent. 6-game winning streak coming into this one, but they almost didn't land in this spot. They barely survived a 69-66 overtime win over San Diego last Saturday night. Won the regular season or conference title the last 3 years. Of course, they didn't win the regular season conference title, losing both games to Gonzaga, and Gonzaga sweeping the board in regular season play. So they're looking to at least grab a share of one of those two items for a 4th consecutive year. They are a bubble team in the eyes of many. I perceive them in the tournament field, but why take your chances as a team as they earn an automatic bid? The winner of this game earns an automatic bid into the 2013 NCAA basketball tournament. Of course, senior point guard Matthew Dellavedova is going to want double revenge in this one. 21.3 points per game in his last 7 meetings against Gonzaga. The Bulldogs really have had no answer for him in defending him in the backcourt, and he's the all-time leader in St. Mary's history. This will be his 131st game in uniform for the St. Mary's Gales. The Gales are also 2-0 against the spread as underdogs this year. 83-78 loss as 9-point road underdogs against the Gonzaga Bulldogs in that type of role and getting points on January 10th. Gonzaga is rolling. They actually only played one game as the top-ranked team in the country, but they did pick up a victory in that one against Loyola Marymount. So they avoided the curse of being in the #1 spot this year. And everybody figures that they will land a #1 seed in the upcoming tournament if they beat St. Mary's in this spot. 66-48 win, as I alluded to, against Loyola Marymount, but they failed to cover the spread as 21-point neutral site favorites in that game. And that one was tied for the lowest point total that this team has allowed all season. This team's really gotten after it on the defensive end. 11-7 straight up all time when playing for the WCC title in the title game. 11-7 for the Bulldogs. And the #1 seed when taking on the #2 seed in this format, 7-4 in 11 meetings. NCAA penalties, I think, is the difference here for St. Mary's. This really is their biggest game for the next 5 years. They're going to be on probation for a 4-year period. They're also going to have numerous scholarships taken away due to infractions involving the recruitment of international players. So this really is their game of the year with double revenge. And the fact that Gonzaga, this has been a competitive series, of course, over the years. And this year, don't get blinded by the last result with Gonzaga kind of blowing out St. Mary's at home. That game was close until the second half, and Gonzaga just went on one of their amazing runs. I think St. Mary's is dangerous here. Not quite going to call the straight-up victory, but I think a close loss in this one against the top-ranked team in the country will do enough for the committee as well in landing them in the upcoming field of 68. So my official pick, St. Mary's, +6 against Gonzaga on Monday night. This has been another edition of Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. And definitely follow me on Twitter at Jeff Grant Sports.